Hey, what's going on, guys? It's LuceyGoosey or Kyle, and welcome to a weird type of video here on the channel. Not really weird, but a little bit different than what we usually do. Today I'm going to be doing a draft analysis of a team that I drafted for Pokemon League. So I know that my channel has been primarily Minecraft over the years, over the last 2 years, but I decided that I want to do a couple more things Pokemon, and I think you guys have been seeing that recently with a couple of videos. Obviously, I'm still going to do some Minecraft videos here and there, but I did join a league. If you guys don't know what a Pokemon League is, basically it's a draft league format. So basically you draft Pokemon, kind of like fantasy football if any of you guys play that. You draft Pokemon that you want on your team, and then each week you bring a set of 6 Pokemon to battle against someone else's. It's a counter league format, so you try to bring the best 6 against their best 6 or whatever, and it's really cool. So we got 11 picks in this draft. It was a tiered draft with a couple free picks, so I think we were allowed 1 tier 1, 1 tier 2, 2 tier 3s, a tier 4, a tier 5, and then we got a mega, and then 4 free picks, and we had 400 points to spend on free picks. Now, this is the spreadsheet right here. We got the megas over here, all that good stuff. If I scroll down, you can see all the stuff in gray is what has been picked and everything like that. It's really cool. But basically, going into this draft, this is called the UPL, by the way, the Universal Pokemon League. It's a pretty cool thing that I was invited to, so that's pretty awesome. But yeah, basically, going into this draft, I wanted to pick a team that wasn't like super reliant on one Pokemon. I wanted every Pokemon to be balanced together, and I didn't want to be like, I have to bring this Pokemon every week, or this is my main offensive threat, or something like that. I wanted a really balanced team. So I had the 4th overall pick, and when I was thinking about what I wanted there, you know, there's Tapus, there's the Ultra Beast, and there's a lot of good legendaries out there. And one Pokemon that I've always really wanted to use in a league is Mew. So let me just put it on the screen. There it is. And then I also have the sprites right there. So we have Shiny Mew, and his name is Enigma. And this is our first Pokemon I picked. My tier 1 pick. We're actually going to battle at level 50, or level 100, not level 50, but I have them all at level 50 right now. But we have Enigma, our Mew. All the battles are on Showdown for this league, by the way. That's another thing. So we have our Mew. Mew's a great Pokemon. Usually you see it run with leftovers, but it can be offensive as well. It can run a lot of different items. It can run Assault Vest. You can run it any choice items. A bunch of good stuff. It's basically the most versatile Pokemon because it can learn every TM in the game. So I named it Enigma because it's a mystery of what it's going to do, and it just gets a wide array of movesets. Usually you want to see like Soft Boiled or Roost, or its recovery moves. It also gets access to some good coverage. It gets a dry baton pass, which is kind of cool if I want a baton pass into stuff. And some of its nice things, it gets defog and stealth rocks if I want to set up hazards or remove hazards. So that's also pretty cool. It also just gets access to some good moves. Psychic obviously is a good stab move. And if we're not facing up against a dark type, I feel like Psychic could do really well for us. We have access to Heal Bell. I think we have a bit of priority. I know it gets Vacuum Wave. I believe it gets a couple of other priority moves. We get Pain Split. A lot of good moves all around. And you can also set up with it with Rock Polish, Nasty Plot, run like Double Dance and stuff like that. So really good Pokemon all around. And I think that was a good first pick to kind of get the team really set up. Some really good moves for Mew, and I think it could be really run well on this team. So Mew is a Pokemon that is weak to, you know, dark types, and so I wanted to pick something that kind of synergized well with Mew. So for my next pick, I actually used a free pick right off the bat. I wanted to get something that synergized well with Mew, and also the Mega that I'm going to be picking, because at this point I already knew what Mega I was going to pick in the draft, but I didn't want to pick it real early because I knew I could get it late. But I wanted to pick a Pokemon that synergized well with Mew, and I picked Infernape. So let me just switch on over to Infernape right here. A really good Pokemon, honestly. It's got a pretty fast base speed. I think it's 108. Yeah, 108 base speed, which is pretty fast. Not the fastest thing out there, but it can be run mixed. It can have, you know, special attack or physical attack. It's a great Pokemon all around there. Iron Fist is a pretty cool ability. It has great priority. You can run Mach Punch for priority fighting, or even Vacuum Wave if you're running a special set. It also gets access to Fake Out if you want to use that. So that's a Pokemon that I really enjoy. Usually I will be running like a Scarfed or Banded set because that's pretty cool with Infernape, but you can also run Expert Belt, Life Orb. He's just a really good all-around offensive Pokemon. So Infernape was definitely a good pick for me. We're going to be calling him Tarzan. And Infernape is just a really cool Pokemon. I really enjoyed using him in a different league that I was in that I didn't end up posting on this channel. And, you know, it's a great Pokemon. It's going to provide a lot of offensive pressure. Firefighting is 2 really good stab moves, so that's pretty awesome right there. The next thing I went for is actually my Tier 3. You get 2 Tier 3s, and there wasn't really too many Tier 2s that I was looking at. So I wanted to pick a Tier 3 to make sure I got this Pokemon, because it's a Pokemon that I really enjoy, and that is a Alolan Ninetales. So Alolan Ninetales is a really good Pokemon, gets the Snow Warning ability, which sets up Hail, and with that I can run Light Clay, which will actually allow my Auroraville turns to go on for 8 turns. So Auroraville is a really good thing. It halves the damage, and if I have Light Clay Auroraville, it lasts for 8 turns, which is awesome. And I need the Hail to set it up, so Alolan Ninetales is the perfect Pokemon to do that. It also gets access to like Moonblast Blizzard. Freeze Dry is a really good move if you can't deal with water types too well. Ice Shard priority, even though I probably never use that. It can set up with Nasty Plot and Agility, I believe it has. Yeah. It also gets access to Calm Mind. It's kind of a feral Pokemon. So it's also faster than Infernape at base 109 speed. But yeah, it's a semi-fast Pokemon, which is pretty nice. And yeah, it gets some good moves right here. It's kind of one-dimensional, but like I said, you can run the Nasty Plot Agility set. It can do a lot of things, so I really like it, but most people are going to see it and expect me to set up Auroraville, and I don't have to do that every week, but I really do like Crystal or Alolan Ninetales right here. I think it was a good pick, and it really synergizes well with these other Pokemon. So on the next pick, I still had my Tier 2, like I said, and I wanted to pick a Tier 2 here, because I needed something that was going to set up hazards for me, because at this point my hazard setters are Mew and Infernape, and usually I'm going to run those offensive, but also I wanted something that could remove hazards as well, because the big part of my team is I need to be removing hazards for, you know, like Ninetales is already weak to Stealth Rocks and everything like that, and I just don't want my team to get whittled down by hazards. So my next pick is actually going to be Gliscor. It's going to be Shiny Gliscor because he's actually really cool, and we're going to name him Malfoy, after Scorpius Malfoy in the new Harry Potter book. It's Draco Malfoy's son, I believe. His name's Scorpius Malfoy, and so we're going to be naming him Malfoy because I think that's a pretty cool name. But he gets access to Poison Heal, so we can run Toxic Orb or Hyper Cutter, and if we don't want to be intimidated and stuff like that. Usually you see him run Leftovers, but they can be running offensive variants as well. But it can be used as a bulky Pokemon, it can be used as an offensive Pokemon as well, but it gets access to Stealth Rocks and Defog as well. And like I said, Defog is kind of iffy because I don't really want Defog because it gets rid of the hazards on their end too. And so I was kind of hesitant to get this one, but honestly, there were no good Rapid Spinners in Tier 2. Starmie was in Tier 1, and I didn't really see myself picking a Tier 2 Rapid Spinner. So I just went with this. Defog is still a good way to get rid of hazards, and I can set up the rocks. After I defog, Earthquake Stab is really nice. I can run Acrobatics, like if I run like Toxic Orb, Fling, and then I have Acrobatics, that could be kind of cool. So that's a set that you could run, but it gets access to Knockoff, which is really nice. It also has Roost, so it has reliable recovery, Swords Dance, so it can set up, and U-Turn, so it's a good pivot. Also, Infernape has U-Turn, I forgot to mention that. But we do have a nice pivot core with us as well. You can also dry Baton Pass or Agility Baton Pass. In this league, we're only allowed to Baton Pass speed, so I can Agility Baton Pass into something if I really wanted to. But it does get some good coverage, like Poison Jab, Fire Fang, Ice Fang. So it's a good Pokemon all around, and I think that it will really help out this team. The next pick I picked was something, I needed a bulky water. I wanted to have more of an offensive bulky water like Primarina, but Primarina was picked pretty early in the draft. So I figured I'd go with something else that I kind of needed, which was a Wish Passer, and that is obviously Vaporeon, one of the only cool Pokemon out there that can Wish Pass like that. But I guess Alomomola is also a water Wish Passer. But Vaporeon is pretty cool. Alomomola got picked right before this. I probably would have picked Alomomola instead of Vaporeon because I think it can do a little bit of other things. It can Healing Wish and stuff like that. But Vaporeon is still really cool with the Water Absorb. It gives me a direct switch into water types like, you know, Suicune and other bulky waters that are kind of tough to deal with, Jellicent and stuff like that. So Vaporeon is a great Pokemon all around. Like I said, I can dry Baton Pass, and that's a lot of things that this team can do. So it's really nice to get momentum like that. But you know, Scald, Heal Bell, Wish, Protect, just your normal sets for Vaporeon. You can run Toxic on it, obviously. But yeah, it's a good Pokemon. Nothing really too crazy about it. You can run Roar sometimes, and I think I might be doing Roar every once in a while. Sorry if you hear my chair squeaking, by the way. My chair is really squeaky today. But yeah, Vaporeon's a pretty good Pokemon. We're going to call it Calypso, but most times you see me run it, I'll probably run Life Orb, or not Life Orb, Leftovers. I could technically run like a Assault Vest set if I really wanted to. If I run like Scald, Shadow Ball, something like that. And it would be a weird set, but it could give me a little bit more special defense. Kind of a slower Pokemon, but look at it's got a pretty high special attack if I want to do damage, but really nice HP and really nice defense. I should probably put these all on level 100 so you can see like their actual stats, but that's going to take a little bit of time, so I'll just leave it. But yeah, that's what it's looking at. Really good Pokemon all around, and it's nice to have it to help out our team. We also have right here Cairo the Cofagrigus, or however you say it. I think it's Cofagrigus, but we're going to be calling it Cairo after the city in Egypt. Boom, there he is. Now he's on the screen for you guys. And he gets access to a lot of good moves. Really bulky Pokemon. Mummy is a great ability as well. Honestly, I really wanted this Pokemon for the draft. It's something that I wanted to use before in a couple other leagues, but I've never been able to use it. And so this time around, I really wanted to get it. It gets access to Toxic Spikes, which is going to be really important. Like I said, I really wanted Hazard Stack against my opponents this season. And so Toxic Spikes is really good for that. It also gets access to Pain Split. Yeah, I can Nasty Plot. I can also Memento with this Pokemon if I really wanted to. Memento is not the greatest thing in the world unless it's Z Memento, and I did not pick this as a Z move user. But we have Hex and everything if we want to use Hex Toxic Spikes, which is pretty common. I can Destiny Bond if I really want to. But the other nice thing about it is I also have another Trick Room setter because my team is kind of slow, as you'll see in my ladder picks. But, you know, Mew can Trick Room set, and now I have Cofagrigus who can Trick Room set as well. So it's really nice to have those Pokemon because I do have a slower team. But yeah, we got the Pain Split, we got Nasty Plot, Knockoff. Just some really good coverage as well, like Energy Ball, and, you know, if you want to run something like Nightshade, that's also Stab. I guess I'd rather run Shadow Ball than Nightshade. But a really good Pokemon all around. I can trick things with it if I wanted to run like Choice Scarf or something like that. If I really wanted to, you know, joke around. But Cofagrigus is a really good Pokemon, I think. So we'll go to our next one right here, which is Roundhouse, the Hitmonlee. There we go. On the screen for you guys. He's pretty cool. This was another Pokemon that I didn't really care what I drafted, you know, around this Pokemon. It was just like, this was a Pokemon I've always wanted to use in Draft League format. So he had some good abilities. Burden, his speed is doubled if he loses an item, which is awesome. And then he also gets Reckless, which this Pokemon's attack with Recoil Crash have 1.25 or 1.2 power, which is pretty nice. You can run a nice Reckless set with recoil moves like Double Edge and stuff like that. Really cool Pokemon. I like Burden. You can run like Normal Gem, Fake Out, which is really cool. So like Normal Gem, and then Fake Out will be doing a lot more damage because Normal Gem gives it 1.3 power, so Fake Out will be doing a lot more damage. And then we have, you know, double speed, and we can really put on pressure with this Pokemon. So it's a really nice Pokemon. It's a Rapid Spinner, which was another reason why I needed it. Like I said, I wanted to have ways to get rid of hazards. It is another fighting type, but I think dual fighting honestly isn't that bad for a draft team. Roundhouse is going to be putting in a lot of work for us. You can also run things like Citrus Berry or something like that to get your Burden boost, or what are some other things you can run? You can run like, I don't even know. Yeah, I guess Normal Gem, Citrus Berry. If I had a Tapu, I could run like Electric Seed or something like that if I had Tapu Koko. But yeah, it's a really good Pokemon all around. I think it can win us a couple games, and that was my tier 4 pick. So at this point, I think I'm missing a tier 5, and then I have 2 free points left and my Mega. So I'm going to pick another free point right here. This was a tier 3 free. It is Rogue the Haxorus. Honestly, a really cool Pokemon. I'm using the shiny form. I really like it, and the reason why I chose the name Rogue is because I think its face kind of looks like the Rebel symbol for Star Wars, and I was like, Rebels, Rogue One, so I named it Rogue. I think it's a good name for it. It gets access to Mold Breaker, which is really nice. I guess other types could be kind of cool, but or other abilities could be cool. Unnerve if you really wanted to like mess around with people's berries. But Mold Breaker is probably what I'll run every week if I use it. Life Orb, Haxorus puts in a ton of work, especially if you get a Dragon Dance up, and it gets some good coverage as well, as you guys can see here. Aqua Tail, Earthquake. It even gets access to things like Poison Jab, so I can deal with fairies a little bit better. Superpower, which is really nice. Unfortunately, no electric type moves, and that is one thing that my team really lacks, is an electric type. I really wanted to pick an electric type, but unfortunately Jolteon got sniped from me, and I had already had Vaporeon there too. I could have picked Heliolisk, and it's actually still out there in the league, but my team is pretty weak to fighting, as you'll see in my next couple picks. So I didn't want to have to pick Heliolisk and then have a really tough time dealing with that fighting weakness. But that's okay. We got Haxorus right here. It's a really good Pokemon all around, and if we can get a Dragon Dance up with it, we can really sweep through teams with it. So it's a really good Pokemon. The next Pokemon I picked here is my Tier 5 pick, and I thought it was too good to pass up for Tier 5. We got Kecleon right here. Randall the Kecleon. It's actually shiny for us this season. I wanted to use a shiny one. Honestly, this Pokemon should not have been in Tier 5. I think it should have been around Tier 4 or Tier 3. It's a really good Pokemon. It gets the ability Protein, which is amazing. So what Protein does is it changes the type to the move they use. So this Pokemon is normally a normal type. That honestly does not matter at all, because every move I go for will change my type. So, you know, you see normal type. Normal types are usually weak to fighting. Well, he gets access to Shadow Sneak. I'll go before everything else, and I'll become a ghost type, and then I can't get hit by fighting type moves, which is kind of cool. He also gets access to Stealth Rock, so he's another Stealth Rock setter. Reliable recovery with Recover, and he can also set up. The other thing that's really nice about him is he gets the Elemental Punches, so Ice Punch, Fire Punch, and Thunder Punch are pretty cool. At least I think it's called Thunder Punch. Yeah, Thunder Punch. And he can also do things like Thunder Wave, Toxic, all that stuff. He's a slow Pokemon, but he does get access to other forms of what's it called? Priority with Sucker Punch, and also Fake Out, even though I probably won't ever run Fake Out. But a really good Pokemon all around. I think that Kecleon is honestly really underrated in Draft League, and I'm hoping I can use it to perfection this season in this league. But yeah, just a really good Pokemon all around, and I think that it was a good Tier 5 pick. So the next thing I needed to do was pick a Mega, because I didn't have any points left for my free pick, and I already knew my Mega was going to be this at the beginning of the draft. It is my man, Mr. Freeze, the Mega Glalie. It's not too commonly used in Draft League format, but going into this draft, I wanted to use a team, like I said, that was uncommon, and use Pokemon that I think can really put in work in Draft League. So I picked Mega Glalie. I seen it used on a couple teams, and I kind of drafted this team around it because I really wanted to have a Pokemon that could just provide so much offensive pressure that you'd have to prep for every match. I think Mega Glalie really does do that. Frustration is awesome because it gets the ability to Refrigerate, which makes this an Ice-type move. So it's a base 102, I think. Yeah, base 102 Ice-type move, which is absolutely awesome. It's like I'm running like Blizzard or something. So that's really cool. A little bit less than Blizzard, but still 100% accurate, which is pretty awesome. I also get access to Freeze Dry. His attack and special attack are the same, so if I wanted to run a special set, Freeze Dry is pretty cool, or if I wanted to run a mix set, I can also do that. He gets priority with Ice Shard, and also he gets a little bit of coverage with like Iron Head, Gyro Ball if I wanted to run Gyro Ball instead of Iron Head. He also can set up Spikes, which is really cool. Return also is the same thing as Frustration, but I like Angry Mega Glalie, not Happy Mega Glalie, so there's that. Also Taunt if I wanted to run a fast one. It's pretty fast. It's actually base 100 speed, so up there with all those legendaries, which is going to be kind of tough for us to build against legendaries because, you know, we can't really outspeed things that are base 100. We have to either speed tie with them or just be like, whatever, we'll be slower, set up Trick Room or something like that. So Mega Glalie is just a really cool Pokemon all around. I think I just got a text message. I did. Really cool Pokemon, honestly. I think we can do really well with this. We play 11 games in the season. I think we can get at least 10 kills with it. Hopefully we can get a little bit more than that, but Mega Glalie is a scary Pokemon, and I'm hoping that it can really put in work for us. My last Pokemon right here is Klefki. Now, I thought about this last pick so often, and I actually don't even have Klefki ready to go because I had a different Pokemon on here. So let me just get that ready to go. But I thought about this pick so much because it was my last pick. I could pick a tier 2. Klefki actually was a tier 2, but I could pick a clear tier 2. I wanted something that was able to actually resist fire at first, because of my team being so weak to fire, but I couldn't really find anything that fit my team. There was no like good bulky types, like water types, even though I already had one, so I didn't really want to pick another water type. I was trying to find something that I could really use to benefit my team in general, and probably you guys are going to get angry at me if you know like draft league format and everything. Scolipede was actually out there in our league. See how messy my hair is today? But Scolipede was actually out there at the time of my pick, and I could have picked Scolipede, who is a really good Pokemon. It pressures fairies, and my team has a really tough time dealing with fairies. And I could have picked Scolipede. I think it might have been a good pick, but I went with Klefki because, one, it still can pressure fairies a little bit with the steel type, but Prankster is just such a good ability that I really wanted to use it. You can use so many cool sets. You can Lagging Tail, Prankster, Switcheroo things. You can Switcheroo Toxic Orbs if you really want to. Just all around really good set. It gets access to Thunder Wave, so if I'm about to get swept by something because it's so fast, I can Thunder Wave it, because I'm always going to go first with the Prankster ability, if I use, you know, a move that's obviously not attacking. Spikes, I can spike stack things so well. Klefki is one of the best spikers, and it really helps my team out with Reflect and Light Screen. If I want to run Light Clay Klefki, I can do that, which is just really good. And like I said, you know, I can Flash Cannon if I really want to, you know, help out with fairy types and everything like that. And it's just a really good Pokemon all around. So we got Alicia, our Klefki right here after Alicia Keys, obviously. And that is actually our whole team. So I think our team looks really good. And like I said, going into this draft, I wanted a really balanced team. And I think this team is honestly super balanced. So I hope you guys are all excited for the season. If you don't really watch draft league formats all that often, I would encourage you to watch this season. I know that not everyone in this league is going to be posting on YouTube, but I know I am and a couple other people are. So I'll link the people's channels when I fight them in each week if they have a YouTube channel, because I don't have all their links just yet from the Discord and everything. So this is our team. We have our week 1 match coming up. Actually, I'm recording this on Friday, and we are allowed to start, or I'm recording this on Thursday, we're allowed to start battling on Friday. So that's actually really cool. I might actually record my team builder right after this, because I do have a team pretty close to being set up. But I hope you guys are all excited for this season of the UPL Season 1. We've got a really cool team. My prediction for this season is probably, I don't know, for our record, I feel like we're going to go like 7-4, 8-3 if we play really well. If we don't play really well, I feel like we would go 5-6 or 6-5, around 500. But it's a good team all around, I think. Infernape should probably be our kill leader. I have a feeling Infernape can get up to 15 kills by the end of the season, which is really nice. Also, I forgot to mention something. Like I said, we get 3 Z-move users, and I completely forgot about this. We get 3 Z-move users for our team, and if you don't know what Z-moves are, they are super powerful. We get 2 offensive Z-move users, so they can use any offensive attack Z-moves, and those will be Infernape and Haxorus. I think Haxorus is a perfect Z-move user, because without Z-moves, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but if it gets access to Z-moves, I can get a Dragon Dance, and then I can Z-Outrage, and that is just perfect. Super heavy damage with Haxorus. Also, Infernape gets access to so many moves. One thing I was thinking of is my team has a really tough time dealing with water types. It gets access to Grass Knot, or also, I believe it gets access to a different one. But Grass Knot for sure, and I can run Z-Bloom Doom on water types, which is really nice, or Gigavolt Havoc, because it does get access to Thunder Punch as well, so that's pretty cool. And then our all-around Z-move user, we can use any Z-move. I picked Mew. Now, Munium Z is banned. Excuse me, it gets Genesis Supernova, which sets up Psychic Terrain after you use it. Super powerful Z-move, but that is banned. But Mew does get access to some pretty cool Z-moves that aren't attacking. Obviously, I can still use it as an attacking Z-move. I can use like Z-Psychic, which is pretty cool. But it gets access to some really cool things, like Z-Psych Up is really cool. Let me just get back over to Mew to show you guys. So Z-Psych Up, like I said, is really cool. It also gets access to Transform, and Z-Transform is kind of cool. It's basically the same thing as Psych Up, but it, you know, you transform into something, which is kind of nice. But yeah, just all of its, you know, capabilities, what it can do. I think Z Tailwind like boosts your critical hit ratio, which is kind of cool. So I can use a couple of different Z moves there if I really feel like it. I didn't think any other Pokemon really could have used it except maybe Cofagrigus with Z Memento, but I didn't know if that was banned or not anyways. But yeah, I picked Mew. I think it could do a lot of cool things. If you guys see any like cool Z moves that I might be able to use that I didn't mention, then you can let me know down below in the comments. Oh, Z Hypnosis is the other one I was thinking of. Z Hypnosis is honestly one of the best things in the game. So hopefully I can put Mew into a lot of work with that. And that's basically it for this whole draft analysis. I'm really hyped for this season. I think we can do really well. And yeah, that's basically it. So the week 1 matchup will be coming up soon. I think I'll do a team builder. If you guys don't want to see team builders, then let me know. And I'll just do the battles as they are without team builders and everything like that. But other than that, guys, if you have any suggestions for what I can do with this team, or you notice something that I'm missing, then let me know. And other than that, guys, I think this is going to do it for my draft analysis. So hopefully you guys did all enjoy. I'm out for now. Peace.